Johnny Dumbbell, what's good, fam? Hey, Johnny, your mic's on mute. I can't hear you, bud.
There we go.
Yeah,
Better.
what's good,
Hey,
fam?
not much, man. Nephews, sorry we are late. See, Uncle Bill had this problem. There were two girls fighting over him. He had to try to sort things out before, people start calling the police and shit like that. So,
Look,
I'm all the way over in
nephews.
Pittsburgh. There was nothing I could do to help. So before you start, I couldn't help my brother out.
Hey, look, nephews. Sometimes women get upset with us, and sometimes they get mad with us, and I understand how they feel. But you need to understand that their feelings will change, and they're gonna want to circle back when you give them a reason to.
Will they ever? Yeah, that does
Johnny's
happen.
being modest. I had some technical difficulties this evening, and I just had to take a few minutes to get us right. But we're up, we're live, we're answering questions. I got the phone line fixed. Clyde's in the building. Shout out to Clyde.
Hey, there it
With
is.
4 women in a rodeo clown.
Love it. Love it.
That's right. Now, Clyde, believe it or not, I've never been to the rodeo, but I do like women that wear cowgirl hats and cowgirl boots and listen to country music and drink whiskey.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I keep watching that Dasha video over and over. The boot stop working thing. I can't stop.
Hey, shout out to Minnie Mom. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Woo!
Appreciate the support. All right, fam, I got our phone up. Johnny's got questions. It's Ask Your Favorite Uncles. Now, this is one of my favorite shows, not just because I don't have to go back and forth between the Bumble thing, because it gives me an opportunity to answer questions that these guys need real answers to. That, I understand that some of the questions you may have, may not want to ask the people in your life. That's why your favorite uncles are here, and we're going to give you some real game, some raw, uncut truth, and probably some tough love. But it is all love here. We want the best for you. So let's get it rolling tonight, Johnny.
Yeah, because we keep your anonymity, so we can still give you that verbal ass whooping that you probably need. God, I got to tell you, Uncle Bill, we're going to be doing that a couple of times tonight. This is going to be bad. So understand, we are a tough love channel. We are trying to prevent you from screwing up because we have screwed up in the same way, and we know what it's like. In short, we are the uncles that your entire family has stories about. But if you talk to us, you might actually learn a lesson. Yeah, that's we've got question one.
Uncles.
So we got question. We're going to jump right in. We got question one from Landon, and the subject line: she used me again. So that's the thing.
Bruh.
The very fact that first of all, the fact that we saw the word again that should tell you something. That should give you an idea of the kind of
Come on,
kind of tough love our nephew's gonna need here, man.
Again.
So he says,
I don't want
we hadn't spoken for. Well, we this is bad. He said we hadn't spoken for a year until she called one day in the morning while I was sleeping. I saw her name in my phone, and for whatever reason, I felt like I should pick it up. She was crying and telling me how she'd been mistreated by the guy she left me for. From then on, we talked daily, several times a day. She called me her, and guys, this is why. Now hold on. This next sentence, guys, is why grammar is so important when you write this. Because the first time I read this, I thought it said she called me her best friend as I did her. And instead, it's supposed to have read she called me her best friend as I did her. All right, so now that we got that cleared up. Actually, now that we got that cleared up,
nephews,
really?
You
really called her your best friend? You reciprocated that bullshit? You reciprocated the very thing that you didn't want to hear her say to you. Where did you think that was leading?
Why don't you just start calling her twin and dressing the same?
All right, anyway. So then one day, I told her I'd support her in some mental health crisis at the time, and she said she needed some time to go dark. She then blocked she then blocked me on everything, all social media, all text contact, everything. That was almost exactly a month ago. She's always the first thought in the morning and the last at bedtime and everything in between. Bill, please, yes, hit it again. Hit it again. Honest to God, one more. Give him one more. Yeah.
What are we
So
talking about here?
I don't know, but I love our
Look,
soundboards.
nephew, no, out of respect, finish this question, Johnny.
So yeah, he says, and everything in between. He says, I don't know what I did this time. What could I be doing wrong that is causing her to do this?
Hey, you want to tell him or you want me to tell him? You want to tell him, don't you?
I mean, I'll be the
You were
first one to
dying
tell him.
Tell him.
No, you know what? I read the question, and I'm long-winded, man. I think we better give you the floor first, Uncle Bill.
All right. Well, when you give me the floor, sometimes I say things that not only the nephews don't want to hear, but the algorithm doesn't want to hear because it's real talk, Johnny. So I'm
Well,
gonna
you know
give him
what?
some. I'm gonna give him some tough love.
We're an 18 and over channel.
If he wants to unsubscribe and go home, that's his business. But nephew, you are not turning this woman on sexually. She's not sexually attracted to you. So she doesn't have any respect for you. And that tracks because how can you be sexually attracted to somebody you don't respect?
Well, wait a minute, Uncle Bill. How could she not be attracted to him? I mean, she called him. She was crying. I mean,
Well, because
turn your speakers down a little
she
bit.
knew he would put that Captain Save-A-Ho cape on and fly to the rescue and be there to save her. And she probably knew that when she was stepping out, leaving him, that whatever I do, he'll come back.
Yeah, and I mean that's just it. I mean, she was probably out of people to talk to for moral support. She was probably out of ideas of how to entertain herself for the evening, whatever it happens to be. The fact of the matter is that this girl contacts you when she has no other option, or at least no better option. And I don't know how far down the depth chart you are, NFL season. I don't know how far down the depth chart you are, but you're certainly not at the top. And I mean, this is exactly what I tell you guys. Bottom line, not only her actions, but her inactions. You have to be able to ask yourself, does someone who is interested in me do this? Or does somebody who's disinterested in me do this?
Johnny, why didn't he take the opportunity to set some boundaries?
Because he's too busy trying to get the girl. He
Or-
still thinks that if he's a good enough guy, he can fit that mold that she set forth, which, by the way, is simply him following her lead.
That's
And
conditioning.
the thing of it is, they don't even have to be together for him to follow her lead. He's already doing it to even try to get somewhat near that.
When women tell you that, or they tell you they need to get to know you, that's kind of a myth. Because if they need to get to know you, why do so many women smash on the first night then?
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't even say it's anything he's doing. It's definitely something he's not doing. And
It's
you know what
something
he's not doing?
Absolutely. It's he's not respecting himself. He's not setting boundaries. He's not setting her expectation of how things are supposed to go. So in short, he's not leading the situation. So anytime
Landon,
he's not dictating terms, anytime he's not telling her how things are going to go, how is she going to get turned on? I don't think you guys understand this. Like, y'all want to take women out on boats and, be this romantic guy. That doesn't make her wet. Being the dude that's
Unless you make a hard left while she's sitting on top.
Johnny, oh, here's your chariot, my lady.
Oh, dear God, yes.
That's
and
not
here's the
what
thing.
women fantasize about.
But here's the thing, Uncle Bill. I got to admit, a lot of guys fell victim to what the mass media taught us, especially in the 90s. Listen, if you listened to Boys to Men and knew all the words to their songs, I guarantee you simped out at one point or another, and that was pretty much the end of you. You were sitting there 5, 7, 10 years later, and luckily, hopefully, stumbled across this podcast and talked to your uncles. We didn't have that. We didn't have this kind of advantage back then. We had to learn by trial and error. And again, That's what we're here to help
Trial
you
by
not have to do.
fire.
Wow,
Hey,
fire, man. Lava.
adversity builds character. Shout out to us. Hey, now Clyde says she was looking for validation in her vulnerable moment post breakup. When you're stuck in the friend zone and always are the comfortable choice when when stuff goes south. Hey, shout out to Clyde. That's right on point, bro.
Yeah, Clyde. And the thing of it is, too, is that, she doesn't put you in the friend zone. You put yourself in the friend zone. And you know how a lot of guys do that is because they try to sneak under that friend radar because they think that if they become best friends, eventually she's just going to do exactly what they do in the rom-coms, and she's going to fall into his arms helplessly, hopelessly in love with him, and they're going to live happily ever after, or at least until they decide to make a sequel. And so that's exactly. I mean, come on, man, that's some bullshit. All right,
Bruh. Y'all
it's
really
like I
think
say.
like
It's like I
that?
said in one of my previous shorts. Love is life, not a fantasy. There's a realism to it.
All right. Well, Johnny, maybe I'm just a little different. I am a huge fan of the manmindset.com and Steve the Dean Williams. So shout out to Steve. I'm
I
not
love Steve.
friends with the food. Okay. I'm not trying to be her friend.
Right.
If anything, I'm trying to be her man. And if she's lucky enough, I'm going to show her that not only am I the best option she has right now, but I'm the best option she'll ever have in her entire life. Now, Clyde also says there's always a go
Yep.
to in the situation. A friend zone is always where they look.
Well, and that does speak to. I mean, there are a lot of girls out there, especially nowadays, but I think they've been doing this for a lot longer than the internet's been around. Is that they categorize the men in their lives that they're able to keep that kind of thing going. Now, I'm not saying that they all. I'm saying the ones that are the most that benefit the most from this situation. They've got that guy that they categorize as the foodie call. Now, there's those guys that they might mix up a little bit of food and pleasure. And then there might be that guy that really she just extremely attracted to, looks, smells, and carries a beard almost exactly like Uncle Bill that she just calls when she really wants to go, algorithm.
Johnny, I can't even tell you how many just complete women, strangers, will walk up to me and tell me how good I smell. Like every day, it seems. I don't know. Get yourself some cologne, nephews, and get yourself some swag. It make how you present yourself matters. And shout out to TK. He's busy doing other things. Wish we still had TK on the
Oh, dude.
podcast. And TK was always talking about how important your swag is and how you're always supposed to present the best version of yourself. And TK's the one really I got it from where if I'm going further than the mailbox, dog, I'm looking my best. I'm on point.
If I'm just going to the mailbox, socks and sandals, I don't care. Fight me.
Yeah. Hey, you know. All right.
All
So
right.
look, he's got some issues.
A lot.
And here's the thing. Johnny, when you were talking about this a year ago, I used to think that I didn't give it much credit. But I have done a little bit of research and I have seen things myself, and this worked for me in some instances where you talk about these young men going no contact with these women. Now, I get it because their entire nervous system needs a reset. A lot of times they're wired to these women emotionally, physically, mentally, and they're we see these young men that were in longer relationships still look for crumbs of their attention, still look for validation from them. It's almost like they were being trained and conditioned with that the entire time.
Yep.
So stepping out of these situations is very traumatic for some of these young men when really it should be an awakening. It should be a growth. It should be a great chapter in their life. And they're looking at it like, how can I get back with her when you and I know their best option is to move on
Well,
and
never
to
mind
do.
that. We should even back the truck up a little farther. Okay. The problem with this young man is he has been conditioned to believe that he has to fit a certain mold to be desirable. Instead of realizing that if he works on himself and makes that his number one priority when it comes to his own growth and development, that in and of itself is going to make him desirable, whether he realizes it or not. And believe me, at his age, at first, he probably will not. So one of the things you guys got to understand is I heard someone give the advice once when I was young: embrace the power and beauty of your youth. Never mind, you won't understand the power and beauty of your youth until they have faded. Well, yours hasn't faded yet. So if you're seeing this, understand that you need to make sure that you wake up every morning hoping to go to bed better than you were at that moment. And the first thing that I think you should do, and call it crazy, but make your bed before you even leave your room. If you can set yourself any kind of standard habit. Now, I know that we just went from what could I be doing wrong to cause this girl to not want me to making your bed. Doesn't sound like it sounds like kind of a jump, doesn't it? Well, the thing of it is you don't like yourself. And I know you don't like yourself because this woman is mistreating you. Every time she mistreats you, you feel as if you did or didn't do something that made you somehow deserve this. Because all you want is this trophy, this prize, this woman that you just can't seem to live without because you just need her goddamn acceptance. No, you don't. You need your own acceptance. You need to be able to like who you see in the mirror. And if you don't, then you need to have a very earnest and frank discussion with yourself as to why not and what you would like to improve. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do because I don't know what kind of physical shape you're in, but I would recommend the Johnny Dumbbell Challenge. I'm going to tell you to get to the gym 3 times a week for 4 weeks. And those at the end of those 4 weeks, guess what? You're not done. You're going to add a day to that, and you're going to go to the gym 4 days a week for 4 more weeks. And please, for the love of God, I'd like to know how you're doing as far as that goes at the very least. But at that point, I would like you to take a step back and re-examine yourself. Do you respect what you've done to make yourself a little bit better or a little bit stronger? Do you like yourself a little bit better now that you've done something for yourself? And more importantly, what have you learned about what is acceptable and what is unacceptable to your life and your program in the future once you've developed a rhythm for having done that? You owe it to yourself. If you get one life, man. You can upgrade your freaking iPhone every 12 to 18 months. You will not get that kind of an offer with your body.
Nephew, how you do one thing is how you do all things. So if you can't even make your bed, if you're too lazy to even make your bed in the morning, you don't have what it takes to show the kind of leadership women need to benefit from you being in their life. Uh, because look, as men, if you really wanted to keep that woman, you would have, oh man, you would have done so many things different. But you need to educate and elevate them. You got to give them a reason to stay. And it can't be a financial one because there's not going to be any respect there. But when you can teach women things, when you can put them on the game, when they learn something from you, they like that. Now, that combined with a little bit of leadership, you might have been in a different scenario. However, accept the situation for what it is. Learn to let go. The good news is, bruh, there's good news here, nephew.
Here it comes.
You could find yourself a better woman when you know what you're doing. I don't care how round her butt was. I don't care how pretty her smile was. I don't care if you liked her freckles.
But if you have photos, send them.
I promise you, you can get a better one. They're out there. They outnumber us. And
yeah.
There's probably one looking for a real man not far from you right now.
Hey, I mean, absolutely. But the most important thing is, are you that man? Well, look, you got to decide that. You've got to decide whether or not you're the kind of person you like. And until you decide that you're the kind of person you like, you can't really expect anyone else to like you. And it's not even that they don't necessarily like you. They just don't know what to like about you. And as cruel as that might sound, why would they? You don't. So anyway, yeah. I think we're going to need to take it back to square one, Landon. And I think you're going to have to just kind of build yourself up from the ground. I mean, the making your bed every day, that shouldn't be hard. It should take you less than 30 seconds. The Johnny Dumbbell Challenge, hey, make time. If you need a workout, I'll write you one. I'll follow up with you. But we need to find a way for you to discover who you are and discover why you should like you. And that will be the reason why other people like you. And, you know, that it snowballs from there. But very few people are going to have no respect for a person who is constantly trying to improve themselves. That's all I'm saying.
Well said, Johnny. I think
All
we
right.
gave him enough to go on. You are running late tonight because of the technical difficulties. And you want to move on to your next question tonight, sir.
Yeah. So we have a question 2 from Josh. And Josh says, I have no idea why I expected anything else. Had a date last night. The first date I was able to get in months. All right. He says, it seemed like it went well, and we have a lot of things in common. We were both laughing and having a good time. She stops talking and just stares at me with those heart eyes. At the end of it, she says, I've earned a second date and that she's looking forward to it already. This is how most first dates go for me. Several hours later, she texts me completely out of the blue saying that I, in fact, do not get a second date. So my question would be, why would she say this? But anyway, he goes on. Just like usual, I have no idea why I expected this one to be different. I really think I should just give up. I try so hard to stay positive, but this happens every single time. What am I doing wrong? At least you're asking the right questions. But the problem is, I think we would need a little bit more context. But I mean, I would have to ask you this. How many compliments are you paying these girls on each date? Are you even setting up are you actually setting up the second date before the first round of drinks arrives? I mean, are we moving too quickly? Are we sitting across from her? Are we giving off the defensive body language? I mean, it could be that she thinks you're not interested. I don't understand what's happening here, man. But I think what's happening now is, and I'm kind of reading between the lines when you're writing, the way you do, is that you're kind of getting up on that high and you're getting dropped down real low. So my thing is this: it feels to me like either you think the date went better than it did, or something you texted, something you said, something you pushed across. And I have to, I'm sorry to be vague on this one, but I mean, this was kind of vague from you. But I guess the biggest question I would ask you is, are you approaching these situations with confidence? And I mean real confidence, because nothing is creepier looking. Not that you're creepy, but nothing is creepier looking than someone who tries to fake confidence when they don't actually, in fact, have it. So, I mean, that is one thing that will shut that off real quick. Now, I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying you didn't, but I'm saying if you were actually trying to act confident while not actually feeling confident, that does come across creepy to a lot of folks,
Okay,
male or
so
female, really.
nephew, I'm going to take a little different approach to this. I want to know what she did to earn a second date. What was so impressive about her that she was even worth more of your time? And it better not be that little dress she had on. Okay, because I know how women look in sundresses. All right. I
Yep,
know it's the end of summer. All
sundresses.
right.
Yeah.
So what did she do that you pinned your hopes and dreams on a second date with this one woman? And here's how I know you don't have any game. Because if you did, you'd have like 4 or 5 dates with a few different women, and you're certainly not going to care if a second date falls through with one of them. Because
Well,
guess
and the thing
what?
of it is,
You got a
yeah.
backup one, and another one, and another one.
Hmm.
And like
Yeah, the thing
Biggie
of it is,
said, and another one.
I mean, she says he earned a second date. So my thing is this: if she worded it that way, it makes me wonder: did he ask? Please tell me he didn't ask. That's the other thing too, is you are putting across that. I'm not saying it's feminine energy, but it's definitely a weak energy. Kind of a weak-minded, seeking validation right here on the spot. You just need it right now, kind of energy. And I'm not saying you did that, but when you use words like earned, maybe she said that right out, out of the blue. Maybe you asked. There is a huge difference between those two things.
Okay, well, even if she did earn a second date, why would you let her know that? You don't know anything about this woman or her character. You just went on a first date with her. She was a
It sounds like she took
stranger
the
an
lead. Yeah.
hour ago. You don't know anything about her mental health. You're going basically off of her word for everything, and you don't even know how good her word is. You don't
And
know
see
if
that
there's intentions behind it between of you being finessed. So, like, you really need a lot of game. The fact that you are caring why she canceled on you tells me you don't get a lot of dates. So that
Not only
means you're
that, but
not
yeah. Yep.
engaging with a lot of women. You're not interacting with a lot of women like I'm always telling you guys to. And I'm not telling you to do anything I don't do myself. I talk to lots of women everywhere I go. And look, even if and I'm telling y'all 5, but even if you did 3 over a month, that's, Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong. 3 a day over 30 days. That's a lot of women, right? That's what,
If you carry the
90.
one, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's 90 some women that you would have talked
Yeah.
to. So now, even if you only lock down 5 of them out of 92, bro, you got 5 new women on the team. Why are you worried about the one who didn't give you that second date?
And let's face it, most of those aren't going to pan out. But the fact is that you're making contacts.
Well,
You're
here's what
becoming more comfortable. You're stepping out of that shell. You know,
you gotta. He's got to learn how to. He's got to look. You got to catch hand and to keep hand when it comes to women. Some of us are really good at catching them. Okay, I can catch a lot of things. My keep hand is really good too, but some of them don't deserve to be kept. That's the thing. So it's blessings on your journey. Best of luck in your endeavors, and we go our separate ways. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great to have a date or two with a woman and just get to know and get that experience and then move on because she's
yeah.
just not the right woman for me. But I want the best for her. So shout out to all them.
Well,
So
and the last paragraph really kind of speaks volumes because he says, just like usual, I have no idea why I expected this one to be different. So here's the thing.
why do you hate
If you
yourself?
want my opinion, you walked into the situation feeling probably pretty negatively. And I'm going to say best case scenario, maybe you pretended to be confident. Maybe you pretended to put across that air of confidence when you did not, in fact, feel confident. And that is best case scenario. And either way, that's a turn off. That's not something that puts across leadership. That's not something that puts across. And I mean, the fact that you use words like earn, what you're telling me is that you followed this lead. You did not put forth that assertion, that strength. And look, that's not going to promote a biological attraction, man. Modern day thinking might say otherwise, but let's face it, we're mammals, and there's going to have to be something there that's going to have to create that biological attraction. And again, you did not create that feeling of leadership, that feeling of
Well, not only that,
you being the one doing the choosing here.
he's not connecting with them on an emotional level. Because look, we know how emotional women are. So when you're trying to connect with them, I find it works best to connect with their emotions because that's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember those bills you paid for them. They're going to remember how they felt when they were with you. So I'm going after emotions and feels but I'm out here conquering hearts and minds of women all over this world, brother.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but that's
I'm
because you
talking
can conquer
expert level.
yourself.
But if I can get to that level, then so can you. As long when you learn yourself. So until then, put some positive energy into yourself. Pick up some positive habits. Lose some negative ones. Start eating better. If you don't want to go to the gym, if you don't want to start working out, change your diet. Start by drinking more water. Okay? Make a healthier choices when you eat. Eat some vegetables, nephews. There are
Yep.
things you can do if you don't like working out that are still very beneficial for you. So,
Yep. And I mean, there's ways to get that exercise, even if all it is cardio, that could actually be kind of fun. It's got to kind of explore those options.
yeah, I like getting
If you're
that
looking for
cardio in
ideas,
that
guys,
fun way.
yeah, if you're looking for those ideas, guys, so leave a comment, and I'll maybe give you a few suggestions here. All right.
We got one more
So we
tonight,
have
don't we, Johnny?
we do. We got one more, and if we have time, maybe one after that. We'll see. We may or may not have time for that one, but we definitely have at least one. This is question 3 from Caesar or Cesar. I'm not sure which.
Cesar.
But he says, you two might be the only people I know who care to see someone's pain without an ulterior motive. So here goes. Wow. This guy sounds like he's fed up. Because I've spent the last 8 years with someone who is an amazing person, but I'm slowly realizing isn't the perfect fit like I thought she was. As time continues to press on, I notice more and more that really bothers me. We can't even hold a conversation. Saxophone is non-existent. There's no personal attachment. We don't spend time with each other like we used to. I have past trauma and bullshit, much like most do, but best not to let that be a factor in my relationship. But I mean, it probably is, man. But every memory from my past is coming back full force, and I'm stuck living in these stupid memories. Without any options, the bad memories get worse, and the only good things are going to be corrupted and twisted to the full effed up state of mind. I've tried therapy. I've tried talking to those close to me. The one person that I thought I could count on most, her, developed that emotional connection. I've never developed that emotional connection with. So now I feel completely alone. Anytime I try to talk with that person, it's like pulling teeth for both of us. Slowly, it's becoming less and less, and I feel every ounce of me just giving up. I tell myself continuous lies saying, one more day, make it to the weekend, it'll all be better soon. We'll get along better. Fact of the matter is, it's not getting better, and I'm either going to be a miserable version of myself, hating myself more each day, or end up on lifelong autopilot. Either way, it's not what I want. Let's see here. So I vent it out by do I vent it out by taking it out on the first person that looks at me sideways? He's kidding. How do I find my own clarity again, and how am I supposed to continue on with this relationship with my mind as messed up as it is?
Bro, bro.
Man,
Bruh.
this, yeah,
Superman had a fortress of solitude,
yeah,
right? Where he would go, be by himself, and just work on being super, the Man of Steel.
yeah.
So, brother, you got to get used to being alone. Okay, you've already been alone for several years, is what it sounds like. Are they married? Does it say they're married? I hope
No, he
not.
was just. It looks like they were just together, like
Wow,
boyfriend
8 years,
girlfriend.
no kids,
I feel like if
not
there were kids, he
married.
would have mentioned it. Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's real easy, brother. Save up and get you an apartment
yeah.
and
I
get
mean,
out. You're
it
just not
seems like
compatible with her. But the thing is you really got to work on yourself. There's a lot of things that you said in there that make you very undesirable to be with somebody. You're coming across as needy. You're not intending to. I get that, brother. But women are going to pick up on that needy energy because you got things
yeah.
that you need to fix in yourself.
I feel like what's happening with him too is that he feels like he almost owes it to her to like be in love with her and stay, and he just doesn't. I mean, look, that kind of thing happens, and I mean, that's kind of where I kind of that's kind of what I'm seeing here is like it seems like
I mean, we
he
got to
doesn't love
grow
her, but he feels like he should. He feels like he's supposed to, and he's struggling with the fact
obligated.
that he doesn't.
Well, when you either grow together or you grow apart. And
Yeah,
nephew, you definitely grow apart with this one. Now, the best thing you can do for her, if you really love this woman, let her go. Go let her find that man that is going to give her the things that she needs that you're not. That's the best thing you can do for you. Got to love these women enough to let them go. I know y'all don't want to hear that, but sometimes it just needs to be blessings on your journey, best of luck in your endeavors, and go your separate ways. You don't need closure.
yeah. I mean, I think what's happening here is it really just seems like I think he almost feels guilty for not feeling like he loves her. I think he feels almost guilty for like staying around, but he also would feel guilty to leave. Look, man,
I wish he'd
you're
feel
going to. I
guilty
mean,
about not loving himself.
that number one, number two. If you did love yourself, you would be able to have that conversation with her and say, "Look, I got to find what makes me happy, and you need to find the same." And so, I mean, it really just sounds like there's a conversation that we're just a little bit afraid to have here. Um, I think that he seems really frustrated to the point of almost like some inner rage. And I think that it's pushing him towards resentment. That's what it
Yeah, I
sounds.
see the resentment. I see the self loathing too. I see
Yeah,
the lack of self respect. I see the lack of self discipline.
Well, it's going to come through in the way he communicates with her too.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Johnny, I don't have it in me to lie to anybody about stuff. You know, shout out to Kevin Gates. Please forgive me. I'm so not sorry. But I owe myself the truth. So I'm
Yep.
going to speak the truth. I'm not going to lie to make somebody feel better. So I would be honest with that woman that, hey, you're a great woman. You're just not the right woman for me.
Yeah, I think he's having a hard time seeing past himself, though. That's kind of what I'm a little bit concerned about. It really just kind of seems like he's trying to figure out how can I feel better, how can I deal with this, and it's like,
Okay,
look, man,
good.
you're
That's
staying in a
something I can
relationship,
work
yeah,
with.
yeah,
Because he's asking about himself, he's asking about he's asking about me. He needs a me pill back here. I got one for you, brother. But before you can start working on yourself and making yourself better, you got to cut those ties, cut that woman loose, and start over. You might have
yeah.
a
He's
crappy
not going to
little
get better,
apartment
yeah,
with not much in it at first. But if you
yep.
work hard and you put the effort into it, you can grow and get better. Growth comes from putting yourself in difficult situations. Growth doesn't come from putting yourself up on the couch with the remote. So if you really want to grow as a man, you're going to have to put some hard work and effort into it. It's not going to come easy. Nothing is going to be easy for men. That's part of manhood. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, sir.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think it does. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that it's good that he's trying to figure out a way to grow, but I think he's trying to figure out a way to grow painlessly, and that's the part that's the deal breaker there. I don't think you get to have it both ways, man. If you want
Hey,
to keep things
Clyde's on
painless,
point
then you're going to
again.
keep things the same.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Johnny, but Clyde's on point again. He says if he has deep seated issues with relationships, it would be prudent to see a therapist to help him work through those issues. It's a solid step in healing and
Yeah,
getting better.
yeah. I mean, I realize that he's and I mean, he does mention that he's tried therapy, but I don't know. It's see the thing of it is that it really sounds like that with as angry with himself as he seems to be, maybe he wasn't completely honest with the therapist, or it could be that maybe he just wasn't matched with the right kind of therapist. And I would say that maybe he could try, you know, changing the channel, so to speak, when it comes to seeing a therapist. But I think that the other thing he needs to do is he's going to have to figure out a way to like himself. Right now, it's clear that he's not.
All right, well,
Let's see.
we got one more for the night, Johnny.
We do. This one's from Scott. Scott says, "What to do?" That's the subject line here. He says, "I've been with my fiance for 3 years, and we have a great 2-year-old son. I gotta wonder, is this like a shotgun engagement?" So he says, "I really feel like a lot of love has been lost, and we are never intimate anymore. We also don't sleep in the same bed anymore either. It just feels weird to me, and I'm a man who likes my space. I don't know if our relationship is basically over or not. She wants another kid, but she said, but I don't recognize who she has turned into. I know that Uncle William has some experience with this, so here's my question. Do I stay together for our son? How bad will it be if I decide to cut my losses and be able to co parent in a civil manner?"
Okay, I got some bad news for you. The only way you can stand on business is to leave that woman, establish child support, and take her to court for visitation. If you're not willing to do that, you're pretty much at her beckon, whatever she wants, bro. That's what you're doing. Because, okay, you're cohabitating. That could go really bad for you. She decided she wanted to kick you out and take you to court for child support. You think you have all the rights to the children, but you really don't if you've never been to court. The mom does. So that's going to be another hurdle for you. So you're really going to need a lawyer on top of it. So you're going to need a couple bands for that as well. Now, I would say go to some couples counseling. Take the lead. Do some things to try to build and grow that connection before you go down that path of spending tens of thousands of dollars going through family court. And I'm speaking from experience. So, what I would recommend is planning more dates, finding childcare for that 2-year old, and Okay, because here's what happened, and you guys don't realize this. You get comfortable and complacent in your relationships with these women, and you don't take them out anymore. You spend time watching TV on the couch with them and, eating takeout together. Women like to get dressed up. They like to get dolled up. They like to put on fancy clothes. They like to wear makeup. They like to look cute. They like to look cute going somewhere. So if you're not routinely taking your woman somewhere outside for some stimulation, she's going to want to start going out with her friends. And we all know about how some of
Mm.
you feel about women going out with their friends.
Oh, it's
So
just girls' night out. Don't worry.
my advice to you is spend so much time taking your woman out that she don't have time to go out with her friends. She's always thinking about where you're going to take her next. So for those of you that want to be in a relationship, bro, you got to be all 10 toes in it. You got to be really down and you got to plan stuff or she's going to want to start doing other things. You said you're growing apart. You don't really know who she is, but she wants another kid.
Yeah.
That's kind of a red flag to me. And let me tell you why. Paying child support for one kid would be rough for you. Paying child support for two might be impossible depending on how much money you make. I don't know. I don't pay child support, but I can tell you, I know plenty of men that do, and they spend hundreds of dollars every single month on it and have no say in where it goes or how it's spent, and still often have to pay for things like insurance. And then the kid, especially when the kids are older, when they're teenagers, they always need stuff. Your teenagers always need new shoes, new clothes, new this, new that, new tech, new whatever. Wait till they start driving. Got experience with that too. I got older children too, but we can get into that on some on another show. What I'm telling you is definitely do not have a second kid with her. Work on your relationship. See if you can build it and grow it. And if you can't, you need to take steps to end it and move forward amicably where you co-parent together.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely and outside of that parenting experience portion of it, I would have to say you're getting mixed signals here. She doesn't want to be intimate, but she wants to have another kid. So remember, the body language, the desire, the way she expresses that desire or the lack thereof is something you should be paying attention to.
Johnny,
And then combine that with she wants another kid. Yeah, I think Uncle Bill's got a great point there.
Johnny, I don't mean to interrupt, but I need him to consider something else too. Yeah, when your position in family court is a lot different once you're going there for a divorce. So why would you have a kid with a woman you're not giving your last name to? That's my question for you, nephew. If she really wants another kid with you, she needs to be your wife because that's going to put you in a different position. If you're in divorce, if you're in family court, you have different rights to the children if you guys are married or if she's just your living girlfriend. So all things you need to consider.
Yeah, that's good advice, Uncle Bill. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. If I mean, you got to be willing to bet on yourself and your situation. And right now, I'm going to say I wouldn't bet on you, man.
Johnny,
I
I
think this
can't
is
even
kind of one of
tell
those
you
things where
how
you got
many
to, yeah.
times I've seen women use kids against these men.
Yeah.
You know, they're spiteful, they're bitter because the man doesn't want to be with them anymore. So they use the kids as punishment. It could be financial punishment, child support. Yeah, and a lot of times, not only are these men paying child support for these kids, they're also required to keep health insurance for them too, which is a separate cost of several $100s a month. So
Yep.
you should not be having kids with women that you're not giving your last name to. I'm always going to be a big advocate for that. Not having kids out of wedlock because I have 4 out of wedlock, and I went hard for each and every one of my kids, and I've had 8 different family court trials since 2002. So just think about that. That's 8 different retainers I've paid for attorneys. That's 8 different times guardian ad litems, attorneys for the kids have been assigned. That's 8 different times that I have had to come to an agreement with my co-parent, other lawyers involved. It's really messy. It's very lengthy. and there's a lot to it. So you're better off co-parenting, going to a little bit of counseling, working on your relationship with that woman, building and growing. Because look, nephew, there was something about her that made you want to have a kid with her in the first place. So there's something there to build on. Even if y'all are distant, even if you've started to grow
I'm just
apart.
hoping he didn't propose as soon as she found out she was pregnant. That's what I'm worried about.
Okay, well, I mean, some men do that. And if he felt obligated and like he was falling on a sword or a sense of responsibility, then I salute him for that, because we as men always have to make the difficult choice. That's part of manhood, making choices that we don't want to make at times, doing things that we don't want to do.
Yeah, I
Everybody
think
wants
he's
to be a man till it's time to be one, Johnny.
yeah, and I mean this is kind of a situation where now it's time to be one, and he's going to end up being one whether he wants to or not, and that's kind of where that's what we're looking at here.
So my
Yeah, I would
advice is
definitely.
no on a second kid. Figure out how you're going to marry her and spend some time growing with her.
Yeah,
And if
yeah. I
not,
mean,
leave her so she
that's
can find a man who will do that for her, who she can have another kid with, that will be her husband. And like I said, go down and file for your rights in court. And look, I got to tell you, if you have a woman that's amicable, you can go get the paperwork from your local library, type up a motion for the court, go in front of a judge, say, hey, this is what we agree on together as co parents. You both sign it, the judge signs it, and you're done. But try doing that with a woman who doesn't agree on one thing. And the next move is going to be lawyers. And then once lawyers get in people's ears, the next thing you know, because they want money. Lawyers
yep.
always want money. That's what they went to school for. So they want prolonged conflicts and trials and to be able to get you for lots and lots of your hard earned money. They don't want to see quick resolutions, but there are ways to have quick resolutions when you and your co parent can agree on how you want to raise your children. You can go to family court. And Johnny, most people only go to family court one time. Well, I've been there 8. I really don't know, but it's the way it is. So I accept it for what it's worth. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you're better off just not having that second kid like she wants, being able to tell her no. That's part of being a leadership, saying, no, this is not a good time. We're not in a good place, but let's get to a good place
Yeah,
and work with your woman and grow with her, dog.
yeah. I mean, you kind of made your bet on that one. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Bill.
Well, Johnny, I think that's going to do it for our questions tonight. And I know we were a little bit late. I know we
We are,
probably rushed
guys. Yeah.
through some of them. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that watches us, that watched us live, that watches us on the replay, that writes in, that asks questions. I love you. I really do. I appreciate you. I
Yep.
love being of service. I love coming here on Monday and Thursday nights. I love answering your questions. I love being able to give you the opportunity to learn. So that's
By
what
the
we're
way,
here
after this,
for.
yep.
That's why we're your favorite uncles. Go ahead and say what you want to, Johnny.
By the way, after this weekend, just wanted to say shout out to my Riverhounds, won 2-0 in Oakland, and of course our Pittsburgh Steelers. That was one hell of a game. I got to tell you, both teams deserved to win. It was a really great game. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We love you guys, and remember, if you drink, don't drive, and if you drive, don't park, because as our friend just learned, accidents cause people. Good night.